Hi, this is Joe from SensiPath. Today I want to discuss the topic, why do I always feel anxious for no clear reason? Especially many highly sensitive people, HSPs, experience this. So today I want to explain where this anxiety comes from and the mechanism behind it. This is a quite important topic for understanding why life can be difficult. So I hope you will at least watch this video and make use of the information. Number one is highly sensitive people are a minority to begin with. It's said that around 20% of the population are HSPs. That means 80% of people do not share this level of sensitivity. For this reason, many of them grow up in environments where they feel misunderstood from a very young age. For example, when an HSP child cries, they may be told, "Why are you crying over something so small?" What the child really needs to hear in that moment is empathetic words like, "That must have been sad," or "Are you okay?" But instead of having their feelings accepted, they are often told to toughen up or just push through. In many cases, parents believe they are helping their child become stronger. But sensitivity is an inborn trait, and HSPs naturally react more deeply to stimulation, so when they are scolded, they feel it deeply and tend to carry it for a long time. Another challenge is that children obviously don't know that they are HSPs, and parents may notice their child is sensitive, but still believe that building mental strength is the solution, so they continue telling the child to become stronger. And over time, the child unconsciously learns that they must endure, and because there's no other option, they begin to believe that this is just how the world works. So the highly sensitive child tries to become stronger, but because this is going against their natural temperament, it doesn't work well. And as a result, a self-image slowly forms, such as, "I'm different," or "maybe there's something wrong with me." So highly sensitive people grow up as a minority in environments where they are not well understood, and they keep forcing themselves to adapt. Because of this, many HSPs develop a habit of constantly blaming themselves because of the feeling of not fitting in. So it's important to understand that this initial foundation creates that constant, "I don't know where it's coming from" type of anxiety, and the feeling that life is difficult to live. Number two is closely connected to the first one, and it's carrying the weight of other people's expectations. As I mentioned in the first part, many HSPs grow up being told to push through and adapt rather than having their sensitivity understood. So when HSPs see other people doing things that they struggle with, they start to think, "I can't do this, so something must be wrong with me." And because of this, HSPs gradually lose confidence in their own judgment and begin to believe that external opinions are more correct than their own. So they start making decisions based on other people. A very clear example of this is the relationship with parents. Imagine parents who believe that becoming a company employee is the safest path. But if the highly sensitive child actually wants to become an artist, their opinions don't match. But because the HSP child lacks confidence in their own feelings and also picks up on others' emotions strongly, they are likely to assume that the parent is right. So before they realize it, they automatically choose the company path. And the thing is, when the child follows their parents' wishes, they are praised. Because of this, the belief of aligning with others is the correct and safe choice grows stronger. So over time, the HSP child becomes more and more obedient. This is how the pattern of carrying others' expectations is formed. And this doesn't stop with parents. It continues in school and in workplaces. Even if environments change, HSPs constantly feel uncertain about their own choices and think, "Is this really okay?" And because of this, they keep prioritizing other people's opinions. As this repeats, they slowly lose trust in their own thoughts and decisions. So like this, starting with their parents, HSPs often form a habit of treating external expectation as the right answer, but their own feelings are pushed aside, so they end up constantly feeling unsettled and conflicted inside. Gradually, confidence is worn down and the unknown anxiety becomes a default feeling. Next, number three is the gap between the ideal self and reality. Because highly sensitive people treat others' expectation as correct, they form a high ideal for themselves. This is because HSPs think deeply and are sensitive to stimulation, so they grow up as a well-behaved, obedient child. Being obedient is not a bad thing, but it also means they take other people's opinions very seriously. For example, if the child joins a sports club in school and they work hard and get good results, teachers and parents are pleased. Even if the child didn't want to push themselves that much, they may still do it to meet expectations. And as they perform better, expectations rises. HSPs sense this quickly and think, I need to do even more. Another example is, let's say you start learning guitar. In reality, most people who learn an instrument don't become professionals. It's often a hobby or a form of education. But an HSP might start thinking, if I'm learning guitar, I have to become a guitarist, or even compare themselves to successful musicians on social media, and they feel they must reach that level. There are many lighter ways to approach, like just enjoying it or sharing casually online. But instead, HSP's ideal becomes extreme, and when reality doesn't match their ideal, HSPs think, why can't I do this? And they go into self-blame mode. And as the gap between the real self and the ideal self keep widening, that discomfort stays inside as this unknown anxiety. This is not because HSPs are lazy or weak. It happens naturally because they have taken external expectations seriously for a long time, so it actually comes from a genuine place. Number 4, the final summary is you were just adapting to your environment. The 3 points we discussed today are all deeply rooted patterns that create this constant, unclear anxiety in highly sensitive people. Because these patterns often form unconsciously in childhood and adolescence, many HSPs reach adulthood without realizing what happened. But HSPs were simply doing their best to adapt, so it's not their fault or anything like that. It was more of an environment mismatch. I'm also a high-scoring HSP myself, and for many years I lived with this unexplainable anxiety, feeling like I was floating outside of society all the time. I couldn't like myself, I struggled with relationships, and I tried so hard, but it never felt like it was enough. But little by little I studied about myself, and as I practiced psychology methods, things gradually became more stable and life became easier to live. So what I want to say is, it's okay to start small. And anyway, for now, I hope today's content serves as a foundational knowledge to help you understand where your unclear anxiety may be coming from. So today I talked about the topic, why do I always feel anxious for no clear reason? On this SensiPath channel, I regularly share practical information specially customized for highly sensitive people, HSPs. If you often feel life is difficult, I believe information here may give you some insights. So that's all for today. This was Joe from SensiPath.